Good afternoon. First of all, let me show my high respect to His Excellency Dr. Hong Chunaron, the Minister of Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. His Excellency, Her Excellency, the leadership teams of Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. His Excellency Dr. Singh Suwanna, the Director of National Institute of Education, Professor Chandrawat, the managers of New Generation Pedagogical Research Center. My name is Jung Pit. I'm a teacher of English. I'm also a teacher trainee as well. So today I'm delighted to present my topic, which is about the perceptions of trainees, trainers, and director on the effectiveness of implementing the Code of Teacher Professional Ethics. So without further ado, let me get started. Okay, once again, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here, honored to be here to present on the occasion of the Cambodia Second International Conference on Mentoring for Educators. Here is my content. Okay, so as you can see here, content is about introduction, literature review. The third one is very important as well, research methodology, research findings, research discussions, and the last chapter is about conclusion, limitation, and recommendation. So I'm going to briefly present my research study to you guys. So let me move on. So share with the problem statement. So Kim and Rose 2011 stated that the problem often associated with Cambodian teachers is absenteeism. So this is the problem. That's why the research study was conducted to find out whether it is a real problem or it is somehow a problem or not. And CAPE, Cambodia Action to Promote Education, in 2015 reported that the teachers conducted private classes and in college informal fees or payments. Another group of researcher, Sagarir et al. 2016, stated that ethical issues present significant challenges in today's practice environment. So, ethical issues is being considering much about the challenges. And 2007 stated that the first challenge is the prevalent practice of teachers openly charging money for supplementary tutoring and other contributions. So, we want to know these the kinds of the charging money for the supplementary tutoring and other contribution. How does it work, or does it happen, or did it happen or not? So another researcher, Otero 2017, mentioned that teachers face complex ethical dilemmas and professional tensions every day. So problem happens every day in the educational context. That's why these are the problem statements of the research study. Let me move on to the research purpose and objectives. So the main purpose is to explore the trainees, trainers, and director perceptions on the effectiveness of implementations of Code of Teacher Professional Ethics. So TPE stands for Teacher Professional Ethics. And to achieve the main purpose, so we have four objectives here. So we want to know the perception of the participants on the basic understanding on Code of Teacher Professional Ethics and the barrier hindering the effectiveness. And how effective Code of Teacher Professional Ethics is. And the last one, we want to know the perspectives and suggestions toward the implementation of Teacher Professional Ethics. So here are the research questions. To answer to the research objectives, there were four research question formed. So the first research question: what are the participant perception on the basic understanding of the Code of Teacher Professional Ethics? So we want to know their understanding on the Code of teacher professional ethics. And the second research question is, what are the participant perception on the barrier hindering effectiveness of implementation on the code of teacher professional ethics? So how they see the problem or barrier that hindering the effectiveness of implementing code of teacher professional ethics. And the third research question is, we want to know the effectiveness of implementation on the code of teacher professional ethics. The last research question is, what are the participants' perceptions on perspectives and suggestions? So we are moving on to the significance of the research study. Yeah. So Newland and Kandawal 2006 stated that codes are seen as the useful instruments by all actors. Here we refer to teachers, administrators, and supervisors in the educational sector. Depends that teachers and trainers could get. So the teachers and the trainer could learn the positive attitude and commitments of participants and avoid misconducts. So when they got the information, when they got the kinds of the finding from our research, so they can read, they can know what is positive attitude, what is negative attitude. So they should follow or keep maintaining the positive attitude and just follow the bad, or we can say negative attitude. One thing, the school leaders and administrators could also upgrade their the needed improvement policy if they apply uncertainly. It means that if they miss some parts of their policy, something like that, so they can just review it and then they can just reform it. And MOIS, the Ministry of Education Using Board, could be aware of the relevant information and reinforce it with the dedication, effective dedication towards the target school. Also, the researcher could use the research finding of this research study as written and further sources as well. Yeah, so this is in brief about the significance of the research study. We got the barriers of applying code of teacher professional ethics. So this is some kinds of the previous study and stated by Mary Burns, 2015. So stated that there are four barriers to teachers' professional development in fragile context. So what are those? Let's check it. So the first one is difficult working conditions. So the first barrier is difficult working condition, including teacher identity, teacher efficacy, and teacher professionalism. So how professional the teachers are, how efficient teachers are, and how identified teachers are. So this is the first barrier. And the second barrier is the systematic challenges. So which means it is categorized by poor leadership, limited administrative capacity, or inadequate budgets. So all of this also could be also the barriers hindering the effectiveness of implementation, the code of teacher professional ethics as well. The third barrier is about the conflicts. So a conflict happens everywhere, even though internal external conflict or interest conflict. The last barrier is about poorly designed professional development. So if the professional development program is not highly or effectively designed, it's also the barrier to the effectiveness of implementation as well. This is what Mary Burns stated. So in this research study, the qualitative research method was employed, and the proposed sampling was also used in order to select the participants. And as you can see here, there are 20 participants get involved in the research study. So among 20 participants, there was one director, 7 trainers, and 12 trainees. So in total, there is 20 participants getting involved in the research study. And we used IDI guides to get the rich information from the participants. So IDI stands for in-depth interview guide. So we use in-depth interview guide to collect the detailed data from the participant. Then after collected the data already, so the semantic analysis was used as the tool to interpret the information or the data collected. So it was used as a tool to interpret the information and data. Then we are moving to the findings of the research study. So here, this is the first research question. When asked the first research question to the participants about the basic understanding on code of teacher professional ethics, we had 4 common ideas. So when we asked the question to them, the first thing in common they said is that they believe that the code of teacher professional ethics is the rules of good educator. And they also say the duty of trainers and teachers as well. And some of them said that it's a tool to build and gain credibility as educator or trainer. Last but not least, they also said that it seemed like it is professional development. Yeah. So when come to the second research question, asking about the barriers or the problem hindering the implementations of code teacher professional ethics, it was divided into 2 different parts. So trainers and trainee. So, and it was also categorized into 2 different classification as well, internal factors and external factors. So regarding internal factors, the trainer said it's about the living condition and readiness of individual. So meaning that living condition is not really okay yet, we can say, and some they are also affordable already, but due to their greediness. Then another internal factor is about impatient and physical condition. So something like less patient to work toward the task or work there, and limited time and class management. So management skill is important. So class management and time management is limited for those stakeholders, and also limited conscience. So to some of them have less attention to their professional tasks. External factors, so less competitive salary. So some of them stated that the monthly salary of the trainer, the teacher, is not really competitive comparing to the business sector, and limited in encouragement and participation. So some stated that participation and encouragement or motivation is still limited, need is escalated, and ineffective reinforcement of job division. So it needs to be effective reinforcing the job division. Yeah. And last one, demotivation and materialism. Some people, they are materialistic. When they see someone having a luxury car or house or building or phone or something like that, so they feel like they want those material in order to show up to everybody else. So because of that, they have to find out other jobs, something like that, and then they have to they have to make more money in order to buy those materials. The motivation, sometimes new trainers or teacher or educator trying to uphold or adhere the code of teacher professional ethics, but this the motivation from external factor, from other surrounding people, saying that you are the best, you are the role model, but it is not the real. It's kind of the bullying. It's kind of the motivation, something like that. So then you will be promoted or something like that. So when asked the same question to the trainees, they also categorize two classification of factors as well. So internal factors and external. So regarding internal factor, they also believe that time management skill is limited. So they have to maintain. They have to efficiently schedule their tasks so that they can manage time and manage tasks properly. Inadequate living condition is also the same to the opinion from the trainers as well. So inadequate living condition is a concern to some, and a limited commitment and motivation. So motivation and commitments are key to success for one professional job. So if there is no less or limited commitment or motivation, the task is not effectively done. And new and less experience. So some stated that some trainers or teachers are new and they have less experience. That's why the implementation or the effectiveness of implementing the code of teacher professional ethics is still a matter, or could be the case to be discussed. Regarding external factor, they're saying that bullying and negative influences, it's similar to what the previous response from the trainer as well. So some people, the surrounding people, they're trying to bully the new trainers or teacher who are practicing or implementing the code of teacher professional ethics. So it said that you are early, you want to be promoted, you will be promoted soon, baby, something like that. So it's kinds of bullying or negative influences from surrounding people. And limited participation and motivation. So it is very important to do so and to have a full participation and motivation. But here, unfortunately, we have limited. So that's why it need to be escalate the participation and motivation of those stakeholders as well. Last but not least, a lack of school supply. So having lack of school supply could lead to less effectiveness of implementing the code of teacher professional ethics as well. Because why? Because for example, they need to use the school material in order to train or to teach their trainee students, but they don't have let's say example, a very short period of time duration, maybe a week or something like that. So during that week, they could not use the school material to support their teaching or their training. That's why it also one of the methods or barrier leading to the less effectiveness of implementing the code of teacher professional ethics as well. So let me move to the third research question that investigated on the effectiveness of implementation of code of teacher professional ethics. So when asked that question, how would they respond with that? This responded effective implementation as application. So they see the effectiveness of implementing the code of teacher professional ethics as the application. And some people, they say administrative tasks, and some they say training or teaching, education, participation, collaboration, and communication. And they also believe that the effectiveness of implementation of code of teacher professional ethics is the respecting and loving one another. For example, that we respect each other, trainee and trainers, and trainer and trainee, and trainer and trainer, trainee and trainee. They all respect each other and love each other. They don't look down or they don't make a trouble or bully with others. So they say that it is the effectiveness of implementation of code of teacher professional ethics. Hygiene, if it's nice, smell good at the classroom. Professional development, time management, leadership, support and motivation. All of this, their perception on the effectiveness of implementation of code of teacher professional ethics. This is the last research question about the suggestion and their perspective. So when we want to know their perspective or their perception on the effectiveness of implementation, they said that they would suggest the communication, participation, commitment to profession, motivation and building value of the trainers. So they suggest all the trainers keep maintaining the good communication, good participation, strong commitment to the profession, highly motivation, and build values of the trainer so that everyone can respect and value their training profession. Yeah. One more, they also suggest that trainee and trainers together as even the management team or leadership team, they have to build trust with each other and support each other, and also use the strict actions towards inappropriate or unethical issues in case it happens. And professional development, they want to suggest leadership team to create and maintain the professional development in terms of training, workshop, so that they can develop themselves in their profession. And time management, they suggest some trainees to join the National Assembly or to join the meeting regularly, and the trainer was also suggested to join the meeting or workshop regularly as well. And so here's the perspectives of the participant regarding that. So they view awareness of implementation of code of professional ethics will be prosperous with fairness, trust, and harmonization. And also the trainers' efficacy would be tremendously increased. They also believe that, last but not least, they would say they said the positive impact and more effective implementation of code of the professional ethics at the target school as well. This is the research discussion. So Young 2015 stated that professional ethics is foundation and nature of teacher. Yes. And another researcher, Bahrain Crew 2014, said that the codes of ethics are an important expression of societal values shared by individuals pertaining to the same society. And Calvary 2011, cited from Frank et al., stated that ethics is fundamentally linked to virtues and accountability, trust, and credibility. Perceives that code of professional ethics is a combination of rules, discipline, regular work, duty of trainers. They also believe that adhering the code of professional ethics is crucial and helps gain the trust and value and inspiration as well. Others, researchers Newland and Hudson, 2009, stated that a code of conduct exists to support teachers in activities in classes working with children and supports them as their working teacher. So, and for our findings, saying that we found that there's a lack of material to support classes and ignoring training. Some stated that they were ignored, and material is also inadequate, and lack of proper attention to explanation to the trainees of some trainers is concerning factor. So it's similar to the first one as well. So attention is very important. So so the trainee should have been given the full attention. So Kim and Rose 2011 stated that the problem often associated with Cambodian teachers is absenteeism. And what we found is that absenteeism of some trainees during the meetings, and two participants corresponding found some absentees of trainee during workshop. So we found some absentees during the study as well. The article number 5 of chapter 2 of the Code of the Professional Ethics to Cambodia stated that teachers shall strongly uphold the morality in their teaching profession. And other researcher Ruel and Griopa 2012 stated that teachers should uphold reputation and standing of profession and take all reasonable steps in relation to care of students under their supervision so as to ensure their safety and welfare. So this is the views, the perception from the researcher. For what we found is that trainees have to train, educate, produce qualified human resources, and uphold their duty of training profession, reflecting to the theory and the article here. So in conclusion, I would like to conclude it by this pyramid. So the research study conducted at the Phnom Penh Teacher Education College with the 20 participants. The main purpose is that we want to know their perception on the basic understanding, barriers, and effectiveness and suggestion toward the effectiveness of implementing the Code of Teacher Professional Ethics. Their participant perception on Code of Teacher Professional Ethics. This is what we really focus on, and the qualitative research method was used as the research design, and the semantic analysis was also employed in order to interpret the data collected. And last but not least, the researcher also suggests that the community trainers and trainees, and also MOIS, Ministry of Education Youth and Sport, keep maintaining the communication, collaboration, and support mentally and physically. So further suggestion, if someone or if the future researcher would like to research about the relevant topic, they can use the researcher recommend them to use the research method, and maybe more than one teacher training institution. It's better to compare or to get more information, or we can say broaden the way that we gather the information from the participant. And the topic, the prospective topic is the impact of effectiveness in performance and relationship. This is the prospective topics that the researchers suggested. And also the researcher suggests that the future researcher should employ the NVivo 12 to interpret the data, and the data collected, and SPS to analyze the data collected from the different participants as well. So thank you so much, His Excellency, Her Excellency, leaders, educator, researcher, and participants. If you have questions, you can let me know. Thank you so much.